Hello, 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 and welcome back to my channel, Ryan Makes Sense. I've got a wonderful 4 video series for you to watch. I highly recommend that you at least watch my Millionaire Challenge video because it is a video that I believe could make you or your friends, your family, your daughter, coworkers $1 million over the span of 15 to 20 years. I will show you how to achieve that and how you could potentially get there sooner or quicker. Um, and I'm going to just highlight these 3 exciting companies. I'm not going to dive into the boring stuff. We're just going to look at the appreciation over time, how your money is going to compound if you continue to get those kind of gains, if that stock continues to repeat itself, um, and just kind of how you can model out your future. Very excited for this 4-part series. This is going to be a continuation for 2024 and beyond. This is it's going to be an annual video because the way that I'm going to do it personally is going to be a lot different than you do it. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. All right. So the premise and purpose of this video is to show you how you could get over $1 million over the long term investing in the stock market. The specific stock we're going to talk about today is Microsoft. So I'm going to show you what their dividend is. We're going to look at their average annual return, and we're going to look at their average return since inception. Then we're going to model that out, and we're going to look over a couple different scenarios. So if you're over 50, if you're under 50 in your IRAs, or if you have if you're buying Microsoft in a regular brokerage account. The main differences are because number one, if you are under 50, you can only contribute $6,500 a year into your IRA. If you're over 50, you can contribute $7,500 to your IRA. And if you have just a regular brokerage account and you want to contribute less or more, we're going to look at those options as well, just to show some flexibility. And then we can talk about potential ways you can increase your income if possible, and look at the minimum money you need to make in order to make this experiment work or happen. So without further ado, let me shrink my head. All right, so we're gonna go, and we're on finviz.com. Highly recommend. Do it on your laptop or desktop computer. It is very hard to do on your mobile device. This is a life-changing website. I have all my videos basically go on this website as well. So for Microsoft, what we want to do is we want to get the dividend rate here, so the 0.81, and we're going to go back to this spreadsheet, and I will share this spreadsheet in this video so you can use it. All right, so we're in our stock portion, and we're just going to fill this out. So the stock is Microsoft, MSFT. Dividend yield is 0.81. 0.81. The 10-year average return, let's put this percentage here, not 81%, it is 0.81%. And the 10-year average return, so we're going to go on this website here. This is just averageannualreturn.com, and we're going to search MSFT. MSFT for Microsoft. And the average annual return is right here. It's 27.67. So we're just going to put that here, 27.67. And we're going to look at the return since inception. So we're on macrotrends.net, and I'm going to go to MSFT. And you can click on any one of these to get where you want to go. So I'll show you what I mean. So once we get to this web page here, we want to hit prices, because this is going to show us what we need. So Microsoft has been around for 37 years. Congrats, Microsoft. And so what I want to do is take this table and paste it to look at their average annual return. So I've got that. I'm just going to go over here and paste it. And you guys can see my screen. So for this column here, the average annual return is 31 point, oh, you can't see it. There we go. Average return is 31.88. If you are in here, make sure you hit average because it's going to default to some. So 31.88. Okay. So now that we know the 10-year average is a little bit less than the average since inception, we'll go ahead and use the lower number because we do want to be conservative. And I think we could even go down to 25% just to be extra conservative. And looking at Microsoft's annual percent change, in 2022, it lost 28%. In 2008, during the Great Financial Crisis, it lost 44%. The dot-com bubble, it lost 62%. That's about it. And then 2002, it lost 21%. So a couple of really bad years, but I mean, everything else after that is really high. So 1998 was 100% return. 1987 over 100% return. 1991 over 100% return. So pretty good looking here. So now what we're going to do, now that we've got this data here, we know the dividend yield is 0.81 and the average return, we're just going to say 27%. Let's go to the IRA model, and this is for people who are older than 50. So I'm just going to update this here really quick. 0.81. Average return was 27%. And if you're over 50, you can do 7,500 here. For the starting prince, that's today if you don't have anything in your retirement savings account, and you're going to put in 7,500 until you stop, basically, whenever you're satisfied. So all right. So you're 50 years old, you put in 7,500 into Microsoft today for 2023, and then 2024 you're going to put in another 7,500. So you will get to, if Microsoft continues to perform at 27%, by the time you're 64, you could have $1,042,000 right here, which is amazing. The actual retirement age is 67 in the US. It's whenever you are comfortable, essentially, but at 67, you'll have 2.2 million. So why are we aiming for seven figures here? So it's not about hitting 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 10 million. It's about getting to these numbers and then diversifying. So I'm going to add a new sheet here. You guys can see my screen, and we're just going to put diversification at 7 figs. So over 50. And let's take that 1,042,000 number. Not 10 million, that'd be crazy. So now that we have $1 million here, you could potentially retire. Now, you might ask yourself, how can I retire off that? The dividend only pays $8,000 a year. That's true with Microsoft. But now that you've hit this milestone here, what you can do is now roll this over to a dividend paying stock. What are dividend paying stocks? Dividend paying stocks give you income for buying those shares. So for example, if I go to Starbucks, or I mean like the stock, not the actual restaurant, we can see Starbucks pays a 2.13%. So let's just do stock dividend yield, account value, and annual return. So stock is S bucks. Dividend yield is 2.13%. Account value is this. And this is a percentage. All right, so now we're going to do this times this. Annual return, monthly return. So now we're going to do this equals this divided by 12. All right, so every month, if you had $1 million and you invested all in Starbucks, you could get $1,850 a year. You might be asking yourself, that's nothing. Why would I do that? All right. Now we're going to get into the meat. So you would not want to put $1 million in a 2% dividend stock. Let's look at something heftier. Let's look at JEPI, a JP Morgan Equity Premium Income ETF. Now, this stock pays an astounding 11.1%. So we're going to go back to the spreadsheet, and the stock is JEPI. The dividend yield is 11.1%. Account, let's do this. Jeez, come on. 11.1%. Your account value is the same as up here. Your annual return is going to be $115,000 a year. And on average, every month, you're going to get $9,639 a month. Can you live off of that? I'll let you think about it while I drink some coffee. Yes. So now, if you've started at 50, you can ask yourself, okay, I've been investing in Microsoft over how long did it take? It took 14 to 17 years to get to the $1 million, $2 million. And that's if Microsoft performs. This is not financial advice. Talk to your CPA, financial advisor, a professional, because I'm not a professional. Now, you have to ask yourself, is making $9,000 a year adequate to retire off of? That's solely up to you. Only you can answer that. Nobody knows your situation or whatever you've got going on. So that's if you're over 50. Now let's look at IRA model. If you're under 50 and you're starting at 6,500. If you're over 50 and you have questions, please drop them below. Now we're going to look at people who are under 50. So the starting principle, you can only do 6,500 a year if you're under 50. The dividend yield is 0.81 and the annual share growth is 27%. All right, so your age is going to be totally dependent here on whatever, how old you are. You could be 18 or you could be 49. So you take this with a grain of salt, but if you're under 50 and you're going to be contributing, it's going to take you 15 years, 15 to 18 years to get to that $1 million, $2 million range. All right. So if you're 33 today, when you're 48 to 50 and you're only doing your IRA, you could be at 1 to 2 million, depending on what you're getting into. And then also talk to your financial advisor. And again, if we go over to our diversification at 7 figs, now we're, let's do it down here, under 50. It's going to be the same jazz right here. We will do, let's do JEPI, and then maybe we want to get into something a little bit not as, a little bit more conservative. So the dividend yield here is 11%, which is awesome. And our account value is 1.16 million. So under 50 is going to be 1161. And that's going to be dollars. Oh, geez. 116 million? No. There we go. 1.16 million. And let's just clean it up a little bit. Okay, JEPI is 11%. MO is a little more conservative. MO is 8.29. It's pretty high, actually. 8.29. And let's do another one of realty income. Again, these are all dividend paying stocks. This one's at 5.13%. All right, my account value is going to be the 1.16 million. All right, and the annual return is going to be this times this. So, whoops, what did I just do? All right. So depending on how I wanted to diversify, if I wanted to get into something like JEPI, which is a higher income, at 50, I could just be like, hey, I'm done. I'm just going to make $10,000 a month and live my best life after 50, you know? Or if I'm like, hey, I'm 50 and I want to put it in an MO stock or ticker symbol O. Literally, you can do any kind of stock you want here. On FinViz, you can go to the screener portion and you can look at all here and then dividend yield right here. You can look at anything over 10%, over 1%. It's all up to you. You are the decision maker, but always talk to a financial professional. So now that we've done the IRAs, these are again retirement accounts. And if you do IRAs, when you go to take distributions every month on those $9,000, $10,000, you don't pay any freaking taxes. You don't pay any taxes. That is amazing, isn't it? So look into IRAs, Roth IRAs, highly recommend. So I'm gonna get off my soapbox. Now we're gonna go to our brokerage model. Now the brokerage, this is fun because you could do more than $6,500 a month. You could do $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month. So we'll do two scenarios here. We'll do one that's $5,000 a year because that's a lot less than what we do in IRAs. Maybe we can't afford $6,500 or $7,500. So we'll do $5,000 to start, and then we'll look at like $10,000, $20,000 to start. So we're just opening a brokerage account today on Robinhood. We're putting $5,000 in for the year 2023. And going forward, we're just going to put $5,000 in. And the dividend yield is 0.81 because we're doing Microsoft again. And it is a 27% return. All right. So I'm 33 today and I want to get to 7 figures because I could make $10,000 a month and feel comfortable. So by the time I am 49 to 53, I could be at the 7-figure mark. You know, $5,000 every year for 20 years, you know. It's all about the journey, right? Just put it away, don't think about it. By the time you hit 51, 53, you're in a good spot. And so if we go back to the diversification at 7 figures, and we're going to go down here, I guess we'll just keep everything in the picture. Yeah. Okay, brokerage account. Brokerage account at 5K year. All right, we'll take this. And well, let's say we would want to retire at 3 million because that's a good cushy number. So it is 3,091,000. 3,091,000. All right, and the stock we're gonna get into, we'll do the same ones here. You guys can still see it, right? Yes, okay. And then my account value is gonna be here, not 30 million. I'll fix it in a sec. All right, let's take a 0 off. There we go. All right, and the annual return is going to be based off, again, these 3 stocks. So let's just plug those in really quick. Equals this times this. And then just divide that by 12 to see how much we're getting each month. Oops, equals this divided by 12. All right. So if we wait 2 years, 4 years. At 49, we could hit 7 figures if we are lucky and the stock does what we think it'll do. If we wait 4 years, we could get to that $3 million figure and potentially get $343,000 a year, $28,000 a month. If you want to go into something a little more conservative at 8% return, That's $256,000 a year, $21,000 a month. And then going down just more conservative at 5% return a year, getting a $13,000 a month dividend just for owning the stock. So that's the $5,000. If you wanted to do 5,000, no shame in that. Let's now look if you're going to be putting in 15,000. You're going to put 15,000 in for 2023, and you're going to put 15,000 in 2024, 15,000 in 2025, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to go up here and we're just going to put 15,000 and 15,000. Now, without cheating, don't look at the screen yet. I'm sorry, I should have just waited. Do you think, how much faster do you think you're going to hit 1 to 3 million? Okay, you probably saw it already. Okay, so if you're 33, like me, I'm 32 actually, but 33 this year. I should reflect that, whatever. Okay, so instead of going at 53 to hit the 3 million, if I wanted to get to the $1 to $3 million mark, it would be about 45 to 49 years old. Oh, that's a very bright blue. So at 45, I could have 1.2 million up to 3.441 million. Heck, even at 50. Okay, let's do that 50 number. 4,413,000. So let's now change this to 4,413,000. Extra zero, very nice. All right, so if I wait till I'm 50 and I start this today at 15,000, I could have an annual return of $489,000 a year, depending on what I get in. You know, 365,000, 228. So each month I could be making this amount. Isn't that crazy? I'm going to take a drink. Okay. So very, very exciting. And I guess we'll do 2 more examples. I want to do a very low end and a very high end. So going back to the brokerage model here, let's say the starting principal, we're going to do $2,000 to start, and we're going to put $2,000 in a year. And then say you're 33, how long is it going to take till we get to the 1 to 3 million? $53 to $57. That's not bad. Because this green right here was literally $5,000. You were putting over twice as much and getting to the same area. So look how close it is and the power of compounding. So at $2,000 to start and $2,000 a year for the rest of your life, in 24 years, you could be at 3.3 million if Microsoft kept performing as it has. That's amazing. What about $1,000 to start and $1,000 a year? Again, you can get to the 1 million to 3 million in about 30-ish years. That's pretty crazy, right? Like all these dates are within 15 years apart. Okay, 15 years is quite a bit actually. So let's look at 25,000. So to get to the 1.3 mil, or I'm sorry, 1 to 3 mil, it would be right in here. Again, all within the same time frame. Isn't that pretty crazy? So it looks like the sweet spot is probably like 46 to 54. If you're doing about 3,000 to 10,000 a year, depending on what you can do. Now, how much money do you need to be making to do $10,000 a year? So really quickly, you can see my calc. So $10,000 a year divided by 52 weeks in a year, divided by 40 hours in a week. This is going to tell us your wage, how much you should be making an hour. You should be making $4.80 an hour to get this. Now, I know this, you're not going to have just your investing. You're going to have bills. You're going to have rent, mortgage, childcare, healthcare, groceries, insurance, water, electricity, internet. So $4.80 an hour. And just to do the math, so if I'm making $4.80 times 40 hours a week times 52 weeks in a year, 9,984, correct. Okay. So let's look at, you guys can see, states with minimum wage over $10. Minimum wage tracker, here we go. I will blow this up. Is there a list? It looks like the darker blue states here. Here we go. So like the darker blue, the higher the hourly wage. So Washington, I believe, is like $15 or $20 an hour. California is really high. DC, I don't know. I didn't know that. Arizona, Colorado. Let's just see. Minimum wage. Is there a... What did I click? Sub minimum wage for tipped workers. Okay. So let's look at Arizona. Okay. Arizona's minimum wage is $13 an hour. Okay, cool. Very cool. Nevada is $10.50. Very cool. What about DC? Wow, DC is $16 an hour. Washington is $15.74. California is $15.50. Oregon is $13.50. Hawaii, ooh, $12 an hour. What about Kansas? Minimum wage is $7. Okay, West Virginia, New York, $14.20 an hour. Maine, $13.80. So these, I don't want to say get a minimum wage job. I would say if you are trying to become successful in investing in Microsoft, which talk to your financial advisor, potentially getting a job in one of these states could help. There's also sales jobs you could take, or being entrepreneurial, and starting that way. So all food for thought, just hypotheticals. So again, yeah, this is Microsoft. If you wanted to make 7 figures to then diversify and then get a monthly income. So that is all I have for you guys. If you made it this far, please consider subscribing. Like this video really helps. And I hope you have a great day or night, and I'll talk to you soon.